Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. Here's your host, Ben. Come on down.
I get to be in charge today. It's not a Tuesday after all. This is Hank.
Yeah. Hi. I'm here too.
Yeah. But I'm the star.
Ben is the star of today's episode, I decided as I was speaking.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta mix it up sometimes. We are talking about a new show called Disenchantment.
Yes.
What's special about this show, Hank?
It's like it's medieval, so it's like Game of Thrones, medieval fantasy. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right?
I mean, I was referring more to like the person who created it, but sure, Game of Thrones bandwagon.
Are you a big Josh Weinstein fan?
Ugh. Why you gotta be this way? Why you gotta be this way?
I mean, he worked on a show called The Simpsons. And that was created by Matt Groening, who also created this show.
And Futurama.
And Futurama. It's true.
Yeah, so this was...
Futurama.
I knew it was coming out, and it was going to be a Netflix original series. I didn't know that it was coming out, 5 days ago or whatever? 6 days ago. So... that took me by surprise because I thought it was...
they didn't announce it that long ago.
Yeah.
They didn't announce it in a way where it was enough of a thing that I could care about it at all.
Yeah.
Until that long ago, I guess.
Yeah, I thought it was coming in 2019, so I just slept on it. And then, snap decision to do an episode about it because, it's a thing. And it's only 10 episodes, which is important.
Yeah, that's fair. That Netflix release style.
Yeah. Well,
where they do half a season at a time.
So I guess we'll do our usual thing of starting out with no spoilers, no true spoilers.
We should give a background on our familiarity with Matt Groening stuff, probably.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So The Simpsons was the most important thing to me in all the world for probably till through high school. That was certainly true.
I would have never guessed.
Definitely say that. Yeah, no. I would a lot of times speak only in Simpsons quotes just because I was a shy kid and whatnot.
I mean, there are worse things to speak in quotes of, to be fair.
It's very true. That and Magic the Gathering, man, in high school. That's what I cared about.
Hell yeah.
But so so I've been watching The Simpsons longer than I can remember. I watched the shorts when I was a baby and my parents were watching them, and I don't remember that at all. So that show's pretty formative for me. I don't watch it that much anymore at all, though, now that I don't just watch TV. Because when I was just a person who watched TV every day, The Simpsons would be on every day, so I would watch it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes periods of time it's on twice every day.
Hell yeah, dude.
But so yeah, I love that. Basically, through season 13 or something, even I still like it.
Okay.
I remember the breaking point for me was an episode where it was all about Selma going to China to adopt a baby. It's just this just isn't funny. I'm done. You lost it. There aren't even jokes here. It's just...
Family Guy got too real. They had to compete. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
uh,
don't get me started on that.
I w- I was not super into The Simpsons. Like I saw a bit and like it was funny and stuff, but it was as a kid it was definitely a case of like my uncle really liked The Simpsons and that's fine, except my cousin who is my age also really liked The Simpsons and was not did not follow like social norms about it and it
What do you mean?
like he's one of those people that also doesn't remember when he's told a story before but is not aware that he's told the story before. Like, I'm definitely one of those people, but I'll be like, hey, stop me if you've heard this, or I might have said this before. He'll just tell me the same exact thing that happened in The Simpsons like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Like, this one time Bart did this thing or whatever. And just, it kind of got shoved down my throat a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I no. Just, it's like it's almost up there with someone you don't like liking a thing, so then you don't like that thing.
Yeah, I
So,
understand.
but it was long enough ago that like, it's long since worn off. I still don't think I've seen like straight through, but I've watched a fair chunk of everything through. I think it was 11 seasons, 12, 13. It was in that same
Yeah.
realm. I debated going out and like tracking down the rest of it, and then like saw some clips of newer episodes, and I'm like, like 13 episodes of a show is a lot of a show. So maybe we just leave it at good enough. But
Yeah.
I find it enjoyable. I definitely for a while was more in the Family Guy camp solely because they would explain some of the jokes. And when I was a kid, I didn't get like all the references that the Simpsons were making. So if you don't understand the joke, it's hard to find that joke funny. And then going back, I'm like, yeah, no, it's okay. Wow, Simpsons is way better. Also, I get all this now, so it's funny. So
You know.
it like took me longer just because of the early stuff, but it's good shit. I also really like the I don't know, just that dynamic, or like nobody, at least in the like Homer is simple, but he means well. He's not just an idiot. He's a lovable idiot, like that whole thing. So yeah, Simpsons is it's good
got
stuff.
heart.
Yeah, yeah,
It was good.
it's a warm feeling.
It was good when it had good writers.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things that's been around for so long that like one of the problems with it is it has to and it was such an institution that it, like everything else, has to live in a world post The Simpsons.
yeah.
Like,
What do you do when
yeah,
you've done it all?
yeah, exactly. And also, like, it was culture satire in a time when culture was different. So like it kind of just culture changed, I think, in a way that doesn't make that its style of humor as work as well with modern stuff.
People really hate Apu now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that was a thing. They were
Yeah.
a movie. I don't really want to get into that. They handled
Yeah.
it horribly. Also,
Yeah. No, it's a whole thing.
is a thing. So Futurama though actually made a poor first impression on me, partially because I was entirely overhyped for it when the first
Okay.
episode aired. Like, I mean, how could I have not been completely overhyped? But I was definitely disappointed and didn't kind of get it at first. It wasn't until college, really, and after it had been canceled the first time, that I was like, oh wait, no, this show is like just actually great.
Yeah.
Like, not even just like good. This is just great.
Um. Yeah. It was also kind of like a weird path for Futurama, for me. I was younger, obviously when it like I was still younger when it first came out and was being a big thing. I think on its first run through. Yeah. And I had only seen one episode, and randomly it was on, like, I don't know, a year or two or three later or whatever, and I'm like, hey, I should like see what episode this is, give it another chance. It was the same exact episode, so I learned nothing new.
That's hilarious.
Like, just happened to be there, and I guess it was probably in the time before I was on the computer too terribly much, and just even if I was, like, that stuff wasn't super accessible, like it is now. Semi recently, like probably within the last year or two, when Netflix, like right before it went off of Netflix, I was like, hey, Futurama, like I know this is like one of those shows that's apparently objectively like really well done and just super good. I'm like, okay, we'll put it on. Yeah, Futurama is pretty great. Like it was a very enjoyable ride, like binging through it.
Yeah. So I'll say one of the weird things, like even though I was coming at that first episode from the perspective of loving The Simpsons. The thing that really like put me off about the first episode was the fucking delivery boy joke that that there wasn't like plot progress, like that it set up all this plot and then kind of just like, yeah, none of that actually matters. Like the irreverence of it at the time, like when I first watched that episode, I was like, what the fuck? Why? I just didn't get that. But when you can watch that series more as for what it take it for what it is, it works much better than like my weird expectations at the time.
Yeah, it's like when I watched It's Always Sunny and expected character development. Nope, they're all assholes. And
they're awful human beings.
You gotta go in with that or you're gonna have a real bad time.
They're terrible.
Did not make The Sopranos better for me, but that's another thing. It's just another
Sopranos
thing.
is weird because it was like they actively had to make the main character worse because people liked him too much.
I mean, it's just anyway. So,
but so when you watch Futurama though, was it like what's your relationship with the stuff post it coming back and like the movie stuff?
I don't know what that would be because on Netflix I don't really think they made that distinction.
Okay.
Like I don't actually know exactly when that happened. I remember it happening. I remember people talking about it, but
yeah. So the first movie is like with is Bender's big score, and it's the large thing. It's again, I don't know how they break it up on. It's theoretically it's season 5, but I don't know if on Netflix they actually do it differently. Because the last episode before it's canceled is the one where Fry and the devil swap hands.
Sure.
Which I think is the best episode of Futurama. Even
it's a good one. That's a solid.
And then yeah, it's definitely up there for sure. I think it's the best. But so then they did 4 movies, and my problem was I really liked the first one a lot. I was super excited and thrilled with it. Second one was good. Third one was boring, like just kind of sucked for me, and that's like the way they do all their D&D jokes, and they go into like a virtual game world.
Right.
And then the fourth one was like okay, and like I was like, okay, this is like a fine set. I can be done with Futurama. And then they brought it back on Comedy Central, making more, and then it never connected to me that run. I didn't watch that much of it, and the little I did watch, I wasn't thrilled with. It didn't connect with me. So that's where Futurama lost me.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I never went back to see how that even ends.
I thought the ending was really good. Yeah, I don't know. It was very bingeable. Like there's a lot of stuff. Like I can't do The Office. I binged through that once and I tried watching it again. Doesn't work. Does not work at all. Same with like another show, Parks and Rec. Like binge that, can't go back. Like Commuted, so many shows. Like I'll binge through. I'm like, yo, I should check this out. But then you start to notice like, wow, they're just doing this shit all the time, and it doesn't ever let up.
Yeah.
But Futurama, I never got sick of it because they don't really like stick to the exact same thing. Like it's always something fucking nuts, but it's different. It's not like in Parks and Rec. My big thing was, wow, we're in a small town, and all of the people who live in that town are fucking morons, except for the main characters. That gets real old after like 6 seasons worth, when they constantly go back to that joke.
I mean, a bunch of the characters are also morons.
In Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but we're allowed to see their redeeming qualities instead of just racism.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but yeah, no, I actually want to go back to Futurama. I just need to find it or acquire it in some way, because not on Netflix anymore.
Oh.
I
Yeah, I
found out-
own seasons 3, 4, and Bender's Big Score, I think.
Nice.
I don't think I have all of it on DVD.
I was gonna watch it
it's
on
those-
Hulu, but
those
that
things,
my mooching finally ran out. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was good stuff.
It's yeah, it has some like big feels episodes in a way that the Simpsons doesn't.
Yeah.
Fucking about like the episode about his brother, the episode about Fry's dog.
Yep. Oh, there was some, and it's like I don't know. I like those moments. I think the Simpsons, like, they didn't need those because those were kind of just spread out more. Like, I guess.
Yeah,
Does that sound right? Like, instead of having one giant moment, they'll have several smaller moments in a show. Or
yeah,
in
it's
a,
kind
in
of
a
just
block.
built into it's more built into the family dynamic kind of
Yes.
thing. Like the first episode is like ends with them getting a dog. It's like them getting a dog for Christmas. Like that's the story of that
Yeah,
episode. It's
yeah.
it's like not actually just about like crazy stuff.
Yeah, we didn't need to
grounded
offset Bender kicking his firstborn son into hell to make a deal with the devil. But yeah. So then we get to Disenchantment.
I'll also say I've read a bunch of Matt Groening's comics, and they're also pretty good. I like that stuff.
Okay.
Life in Hell. It's funny. It's funny stuff. But yeah, so I wasn't
We doing
Again,
we doing
with, like,
non-spoiler non-spoiler first?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying what my view was going into this.
Okay. All right.
Like I wouldn't say I had I definitely didn't like I wasn't like, "Oh my god, I have to see this." I was like, "Yeah, I'll watch that."
Yeah.
Mostly cuz like again, I haven't finished Futurama. I don't watch The Simpsons anymore. Like his shows have certainly they're luster after initial parts for me, but they're still like super important shows.
Yeah.
Like they're some of the best stuff I've ever seen. So
Oh, no, absolutely.
definitely like I like this. I was partly I did have a little trepidation because again the D&D fantasy movie of Futurama was like I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous that it would have jokes that I wouldn't be. But when I heard that it was a little less joke heavy in general, I was more like, okay, that actually sounds better. That actually sounds like more of what I want then. I'm more into a Matt Groening show with some plot and stuff happening rather than just jokes every minute.
100%. Yeah. No, I got you.
What was going into it? What was your take?
I mean, it was like, I actually was like yo, I have to watch this, but it wasn't necessarily because it looked so super good. It was just like, yo, Simpsons and Futurama were bangers.
Yeah,
I need to at least check it out. Like I need
I
to
need to
see
know.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like there's like a female white-haired protagonist, so it wasn't not gonna be good.
yeah.
No,
Honestly, the fucking Lucy, the demon, is like the most like, yeah, that's a Matt Groening drawing. That beyond like his characters all having overbites.
yeah. No, I mean, I was interested, and I liked I kind of like the opposite. You know, it's like people call it pastorama,
Uh huh.
and I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, you know, like I'm interested. Like he did
you're
like
not.
he has modern day in The Simpsons. He went to the future. Now we're going to the past. That pleases like the
Yeah, no,
it's like the little
you're not
trinity.
wrong. There's one joke in particular. It's just like, yep, that's you're doing taking a thing from the present and making an analog of it in this setting. It's a good bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think we should get into our initial impressions, non-spoilery. I really liked the show. It was super enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was like I was a little hesitant at first, like just super initially, and then I'm like, nah, I'm liking this ride. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
it was
it's just
just
nice to
like
watch.
it was just good. Like it was funny enough. It was engaging. I like the characters. I like their dynamics. Like it was
It's the
just
first
good
time.
stuff.
It's the first time in a while. Like, it's definitely not super joke heavy, but there were some that I actually fucking laughed and like had to rewind a bit because like I just totally missed what happened afterwards. Like, it's not even stuff that's like super funny. Like I tried repeating, or I tried like explaining one to some people at work today because I'm like, it's so damn funny, and someone made a similar type of joke. And I like
Yeah.
said it, no one really laughed. I'm like, fuck all of you, you don't know good humor. This is hilarious. I was still like chuckling to myself about it, but I really enjoyed that, and then just the fact, and I think this is I certainly know that it's different from Simpsons. I think it's even more it's closer to Futurama, but also different in that it has kind of a continuous storyline throughout, and then especially in like the latter third or
Yeah.
even half, like it gets more heavily into connecting episodes rather than just being purely episodic. And
Yeah, and Futurama certainly did a lot more of that than The Simpsons. And again, it has that one season that's actually for movies, direct to DVD movies. So like for it got chopped up to like 4 episodes each or whatever. So those are like plot heavy for those 4 episodes,
yeah,
even though they don't it doesn't stretch kind of between them. But like Futurama has some of that stuff. But this felt like, yeah, this was just more. It was never like, up, now we're just completely resetting. It felt like there was always progress. It didn't feel like they were gonna undermine all of that for the sake of a joke.
yeah, yeah. And I like that. Like, there's definitely a time and place for like episodic stuff, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't just do more of that.
Yeah.
Makes this it
Yeah,
makes it makes this stand out more.
as
You
someone
could
who watches TV to watch it and not just because I watch TV every day, I'm 100% more on the wanting the story stuff, I would say.
yeah.
Like I think being on Netflix is also part of that, where you're like, okay, we've got this many episodes to make. We're gonna tell this story,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Though there's certainly a place on Netflix for TV that's just TV.
You put
All
it
the
on in the
cooking
background
shows.
or
Yeah, yeah.
like so many people I know, they like put it on and fall asleep to it and
Yep.
like My sister said at one point, like it's one of those things where you're like laughing, but you're also totally serious. She's like, I can't fall asleep without having Netflix on. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a problem at all. I really, I guess getting to more of like the non-show stuff first ish. I mean, as far as more detail goes, I really like
Yeah.
the animation and like the art.
Yeah,
It was
it
just
looks
such a
good.
it was yeah, it looked really solid and like in the backgrounds and stuff. Just they're using the right amount of detail without like going making it look weird. I don't know. That was like one of the first things I noticed. I'm like, this is a really good looking show.
For sure. I definitely agree.
I think the oh yeah, go.
I liked how they whatever use their ability to do like more gore
Yep.
and like adult humor, but it doesn't ever like push too far. Like it has its own limits. It's certainly it feels like there was a kind of a step from from The Simpsons to Futurama, and this feels like a similar kind of just step one step beyond. But mostly just in the gore category.
Yeah.
Like it again, it's not that much, but like whatever, a dude gets eaten by a pig or whatever. It's like just enough.
Yeah. No, they roll it out. I also like the
And I like dealing with human alcoholism rather than just robot alcoholism that's not actually alcoholism.
yeah. Yeah. Does feel a little bit it's a little bit weightier.
just a hair. Just a hair.
The I guess for the most part, well, okay. I really like the main theme thing they got going on. Like the themes that they keep coming back to like musically. Like it's an enjoyable, like catchy little like tune or whatever. I guess for most of the music, I think it's good in that like it's not bad. Like it's
Yeah.
there and it does its job and it has that kind of like medieval almost like at times it almost reminded me of like Skyrim or something. Like they do some of those weird like medieval tune things and it fits and it's not I don't know. Like the music's not the most important thing in a show like this, but
Well,
they didn't fuck it
the
up.
music some of the best Futurama and Simpsons episodes are like musical.
Yeah.
So
And
I
one of
think
the
that's like a part of that's something this show hasn't done that would kind of put it over the top for me if it did it well. But yeah,
the I get like I'm not going to count this as a spoiler cuz it's like episode 1 and it's setting up
yeah,
stuff.
sure,
The elves singing was great and then when they keep singing while hanging someone is like that was good. I enjoyed that.
that was good.
They
That
just
was a
did
good tone
the
setter.
same cute little like cutesy happy melody, but they're singing about hanging someone. Like that's good stuff.
Yeah,
And I hope like for as far as musical stuff goes, like if they keep in that vein, like I'm in.
totally. That part reminded me of there's this episode of The Simpsons that specifically reminded me of where there were horse jockeys that like had their own world of being elf-like. But yeah, that was good stuff. The hanging. Oh man, the grimness of the world. I
Yeah.
really like.
Yeah,
It's
no,
so
100%.
fucking.
Everything's just like bone, but it's like this is great. So
Yeah, but then it's also like it, so it can do, and then it just does occasionally have those really easy, simple, fun jokes. Like it does a chase scene with her, like, because she's driving drunk, and like the cops are riding horses but treating them like cars. Like just
Yeah.
dumb. It's such a dumb, low hanging, but it works. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, just have some of that in there. Meat and potatoes jokes.
Yeah. No, some of they're hitting the right amount of jokes, I think.
Yeah.
And the ones that they in that way, like the ones that they do hit are pretty solid. Like it's more it
Yeah.
feels like more of a quality over quantity, I think.
Totally. Totally. Like the jokes are funny. Like the show is certainly funny. It's just it doesn't have to put all the pressure on the jokes.
Yeah.
It can
'Cause you
rely
have
on
this
just good jokes and then have like character and plot alongside that.
and I do
To
like that
do
there
some
is
lifting.
like the character development. Like it's not like it was absurd in 10 episodes, but like the bits that were like revealed and stuff, I like it's going at a nice pace in that it's actually there at all.
Totally. Totally. It's not a reset to zero every episode. And I like how it sets that up with how the first episode ends. We're going to slowly start getting into more spoiler stuff. Just like.
Yeah, so if you want I mean, I guess if you want absolute zero spoilers, maybe stop here.
Yeah, go check it out.
It's a
I
thumbs up
recommend
from
it.
me.
Yeah, totally.
And then yeah. Anyway, as you were saying, for the people who are still listening.
Yeah. Like the first episode ends with the dark character heroes falling off a cliff. Cut credits. It's like a good indication of like, no, these there's gonna be plot between these episodes. We're not just gonna cut to the end and like also like get you to watch the next one maybe immediately. That like Netflix like one more kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, that's how the first episode of Digimon ends, so it's clearly good.
Oh my god. Yeah, I actually thought it wasn't the first episode where she's like running away and she's in her wedding dress and she's getting all like muddied up.
No.
And she's running away with Elfo. You know, like they're all there and they're running away shortly after meeting each other. And they were going to the woods and I was like are they gonna be like out like is this going to be super plot heavy and like it's gonna be about them like off on their own away from the kingdom? Holy fuck, they're gonna be looking for food. Hank's gonna be thrilled. And it like did go that way obviously, but I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Man. I will say like what my favorite joke was that I laughed super hard at was when she's drunk driving and then the woman is drowning and like, I'm drowning, and Elfo just goes, I'm Elfo. Like I fucking lost it. I don't know, fucking dad jokes are the best and I just was not expecting it at all. And it's like it's grim as hell, but it's just so simple.
That's
It's great.
No. I mean, and also that humor that's like super grim but also like super low dad joke level is like not actually that done that often, because if you are able to get away with that level of gore, you usually are more
You
serious
take it
or
up.
edgelord about it. Like the material is not as frivolous.
Mm-hmm.
So there is something refreshing about the way the content it gets to do with the attitude it has about it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or like when Bean was staying with I forget her name. When she's like ends up becoming an executioner's apprentice.
Yeah.
And he's like walking
that
like,
was so good.
like he's just such a good guy, and then like he just like he could be working as like a blacksmith or something and they could have gotten a similar effect, but nah. Like
No.
it all becomes just extra funny cuz dude fucking cuts people's heads off.
Oh, and he's so terrible and petty after she gives up.
Yeah. Or like how
So-
they like it was like I don't know, it felt more subtle even though it's like still kind of a it's a bit of a jab at like women, but when she's torturing the guy by just like fucking up his last meal.
Or just being indecisive.
I don't
Just
know,
can't.
like I don't know. I'm not really feeling this.
That's
You're a
certainly a
natural.
yeah.
No,
So
it
like
was
she was gonna torture.
yeah. No, that was
It
a
was a
good
good
bit.
bit.
But I
I
guess.
I
Oh
really
yeah.
liked when the pigs are eating that dude, and it does like the spaghetti thing of the two pigs eating
Oh
a piece
yeah.
of intestine, and then they kiss.
Yeah.
It's like, goddamn.
I think the other thing that it really helped for me liking the episodes. Well, it didn't take horribly long to get there, but just you can see they're kind of doing a I don't know, I guess like an angry Homer Simpson thing, like with the king. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he yells all the time and he's like kind of a dick, but then like you can tell that he actually does love Bean and that he like cares about her and stuff.
Yeah,
And I really like that, like how they kind of have that, like they still care about each other dynamic.
yeah. Even though he's terrible,
Even though, yeah, no,
just murdering people all the time for no reason.
yeah,
You know, kings.
yeah, king stuff.
Yeah.
And how it's I like how I forget the voice actor's name, but it's the dude who did Bender and Jake the dog.
J- John DiMaggio.
Right, yeah. I like how he like changed up his voice just a little bit more instead of just having the same exact. Like, still definitely him, but it's not just Bender as a king.
Yeah, he's a little. He sounds like an older. He
Yeah,
sounds like it's appropriate for the character. Like it definitely works.
yeah.
It's harsher.
Oh man, I did you see? I looked up like a little bit of stuff, or just seeing what other people are saying. Do you see that there were like two, well, certainly one, possibly two Futurama like things in the show?
I did. I no. I haven't looked up any of the outside
Okay,
stuff, and I didn't notice that.
okay. I mean, you want me to just do it up here then?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
In I think it's the first episode actually, when they're running into the woods. In the sky, you can see a ship that looks like the Delivery Express ship.
Huh.
It's like, I mean, it's far enough away and it's not detailed enough that some people were like, nah, I don't think that's it. But it's like the same shape and stuff. And much later when Lucy is like going through the fucking orb thing and like rewinding all the holograms,
Yeah.
and there's all those scenes, someone paused someone of course went through it like frame by frame to see what's all there.
Oh yeah.
And there's like one, I think it's like a time machine episode from Futurama, and it's like three or four main characters standing there with the time machine thing. So people are thinking, like, is it just like because we can, or is it going to be actually linked somehow? Are they trying to just sneak Futurama back onto the air and in the long con?
No, I don't
But
think it's that one.
no, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Just there.
Look, they have to figure it out so that when they eventually do the crossover comic book, they have it. They
You
have
son
it
of a
planned
bitch.
out.
Yeah, naturally. I thought. I don't know. I just the dynamic is so good where you have like that kind of love interest, but also just I don't know. It's not. It didn't like. They didn't do the thing where they go somewhere with it and then they didn't scrubs it, basically, is what I'm. They didn't have them, like, become a thing immediately and then have to break them up and, like, put them back together 1,000 times. So, that's nice.
Yeah.
For-
I'd say Elfo doesn't come out good in that, looking good in that.
No. No,
Makes
not at
him-
all.
Definitely not likable, but yeah, I don't know. I don't need that dynamic, so
No.
that they don't really do it.
Yep.
I'm happier with.
I like that it's
Happier
there.
with.
Or I like that it's, like, there on his end. Like, him having to thing for her, only because it led to the thing of him having a giantess as a fake girlfriend. Like, that whole episode was great.
His Canadian girlfriend, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you a bone here and suggest that perhaps she comes from somewhere far away.
Somewhere northern.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing was fucking great.
No, she's real. I saw her in my drug vision.
Yeah. Oh, drugs are bad.
There's a lot of good, like, someone is saying a thing and then immediately going, oh. Like, Alpha going, I was just trying to control her. Oh. It's bad.
Yeah. God. It's just... And I really do like the dynamic that Elfo adds, because they're still, like... They make him just, due to being in the elf land or whatever, like, he's so innocent in some ways and naive enough that, like, you could play with it so much, and it's so good.
Yeah. As, like, you need a straight man.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And he can play that in some cases. And certainly much better than, I think any of the other main characters can. I think.
No, that seems right.
You need some balance, because,
Well, I mean,
the other characters are pretty fucking fine with doing fucked up stuff.
Yeah,
most of the time.
That's just like what's great about Lucy is that, like, he doesn't even need to fucking be there, dude. Like, she'll do it on her own.
Yeah.
In most of the cases.
He just, he's there to say, do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Do it.
It's such a good take on a demon where he's just like, he's not strong or
he's just, he's
like
just
powerful.
there.
He's just there, and he's like, he's just there he just wants things to be a little worse. Like, what if things were a little worse?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, everyone calls him an ugly cat, and that's a good bit.
What, this talking cat? Did it kill the cat?
Also, he's imminently kickable. It's always good to have a character
Yeah.
kick and not feel bad about it all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the thing. Everyone calls him a cat, and they just fucking punt him anyway. I was actually kind of surprised by how the season ended. I gotta say, I didn't see it coming.
I kind of did once it became clear. Once her mother was resurrected, I was kind of, she's evil.
Well,
that's definitely where this is going. I saw that part, much of it.
I figured there would be like something like there's a catch here, like no one just gets fucking resurrected and you're okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to go more of the line of like it being temporary, or like she wasn't fully human or something, like not necessarily zombie, but like, comes back and just something's wrong. That sort of thing.
Isn't herself.
Yeah, just that, it's not the same person, that blah, blah, blah.
No, that's certainly the way a more episodic show would have handled that. Doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And I 100%, I mean, it's very clearly like meant to be a red herring, I think, that I was like, yo, what's his name? Like the advisor guy, the old advisor dude. I was like, yo, he poisoned the drink. Like I was really on that. That train.
Like, yeah, Oddval.
Yeah.
Who's got 4 eyes apparently? Because he said, "Don't ask about my 4th eye."
Yeah, don't ask about my 4th eye. Almost definitely a dick joke.
It's, I guess, I don't even fucking know. It's just funny.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Oh, I love their weird fucking orgy.
Yeah,
cult.
the dark ritual. All you guys do is have sex. We do other things.
That was good stuff.
Yeah. But no, I didn't like I certainly didn't see like the last episode coming. Like for me that kind of went not necessarily 0 to 100, maybe like 10 to 40. It definitely is like I need to see fucking more of this, and there's like
Oh, totally. It was a good
a
cliffhanger to end this half
yeah.
of the season on.
And it's definitely like so I don't know, it's like doing the thing that Adventure Time does but better, because it's not just the first and last episode of a season doing shit. It like builds up to it, and there's actually good things along the way.
Yeah, it had an arc to it,
Yeah.
so that like the end of that episode with the solitary king in a kingdom that's all been turned to stone is like they totally set that up with the that lost city where
Yeah.
that exact thing happened. So the way it laid breadcrumbs to where it was going was really good.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. The way like a lot of shows do have this stuff is it just happens. Like the way like Rick and Morty when it ended its season with aliens having taken over Earth. Like that's kind of the normal way that kind of thing happens of
Yeah. Just suddenly
just
pow.
just suddenly that everything's different, but also before we take this break and then we'll restore the status quo when we get back.
Yeah. And some people like yeah. I mean,
Which they still might do. Like they're still probably just gonna restore the kingdom, but you know,
possibly. I don't know. I don't. You know, my money is actually on that they don't do that right away.
yeah, I
At
don't
least
know.
I'm gonna call.
I don't know.
I'm gonna call at the
don't
very
know.
least not in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw. You know what? I'm gonna get specific. I'm gonna say episode 3 or the third.
Yeah,
Whatever number it is. The next third in the sequence. That's
yeah.
I'm gonna throw down money. You guys heard it here.
Okay. It could be first 3. It could be the whole.
Yeah, shit. Maybe they go all in.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like a whole season. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Either way,
They've
I'm
got a
pumped.
lot of possibilities of ways they could take the story from here.
Mm-hmm.
But I assume they're gonna bring people back just because of how many characters that is.
Yeah. Or most of them.
Yep.
I'm guessing there's going to be like, oh, where's this person? Well, when they were a statue, I tipped them over and something. I don't know.
I don't expect that, but I wouldn't go that far of them,
Like not a main character.
yeah. Look, they already did the dominoes falling over thing.
Yeah.
That's a good joke. Also, they did it in a way that was very cheap to animate. It happens a lot off screen. Efficiency.
Yeah.
I really like that fucking demon hunter character.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. He's basically just Dracula, but he hunts the demons.
Yeah, Big Joe. Like when he shows up and he just like is teleporting around for
Yeah.
no reason.
Please come
good.
in. I'm already inside.
Yeah, that was good. Got his arm cut off twice. Same. Also, I
also-
loved. Oh man, I loved fucking Lucy's lawyer.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
The fucking demon with a tie. Oh, I was sad when he died.
I just like how all the other demons look like that. Like I thought it was gonna be some sort of Mulan thing where supposedly there was a chance that he didn't look like a little ugly cat, and all the other demons were like fucking badass, but nah, they're all just little
No,
Oh,
that's just what demons
cats.
are.
That's just what demons are.
I'm kind of disappointed it didn't do a little bit more when they released all the demons. It's like, we released darkness on the world. Yeah, nothing comes of that. There's demons
Maybe that's the
everywhere.
commentary. Maybe a bunch of demons aren't enough to change the darkness that we already dwell in. Or
I mean, that's
alternatively,
just a fact.
maybe they bring it up. Maybe they bring it up next season.
You mean, or the second half of
The
this season.
second half. Yeah, yeah, that's right. On Netflix, it just says part one.
Yes, because that's how Netflix has decided they do things. They release half a season at a time, and also
Which
it's the show's been ordered for 20 episodes, so that's for sure how much we're getting is another 10
I'm probably gonna do
at the
more.
moment. Maybe
They do more of all their other garbage shows.
it's true. I mean, it depends on maybe the creators just want to do this one up season.
I
That's the
guess.
one. It seems
Fucking
very unlikely to me. It seems
yeah.
way more likely that they will make multiple seasons, but you never know.
Go out on top, man.
I kind of wish. I don't know.
I was gonna say like the last Airbender, but then I remembered Korra, and it like doesn't really count.
Do you mean go out on top and then they just end Avatar and then don't make any more? Wouldn't that have been the move then?
I mean,
And never
I
made Korra?
I think yeah, that's that. They did that until they made Korra, and then they ruined it
Yeah.
retroactively.
Look, Korra is not as good as Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's okay. It has its ups and downs. It has its downs for sure. Season 2. Man.
There's just a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff that they didn't. Ugh. That's it.
It has issues.
That's a lot of
You're
issues.
not wrong.
Okay, so I mean, actually, that's a good segue. Speaking of issues, is there anything that like stood out to you that was not great about the show, or something that might turn someone off?
Again,
Like,
sometimes I found Elfo a little too pathetic.
sure,
Like when he sniffed her hair.
yeah,
It's like, just this point, yeah, it's a little too much for me. Other than that, though, like I really liked how they have handled Bean as a character.
mm-hmm.
Like I really like her, and I like the way she's flawed.
Yeah,
Her alcoholism stuff. Honestly, they could go even further with a lot of that stuff.
mm-hmm.
So,
And they might.
and they might. It's true. The thing that, like, just the big thing to me was just how enjoyable. Like, I don't know how much the show will matter to me in the long term, but like, as a watch, it was just super enjoyable. Like, I
Yeah.
breezed through it. It was just a treat to watch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that says something. I ask about issues, and he just comes back to how good it was.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Totally.
No, I think the like the biggest thing, and this is something that I've seen other people. I mean, they're complaining about it, but like shows can be fucking different. If you're expecting an episodic joke fest, that's not what it is. And if that's what
That's
you like
not what it
watching,
is at
then
all.
don't watch it.
Yeah. Totally.
Like that
That
is
is-
not this type of ride.
Yeah. And I knew that going in, so that wasn't my expectation at all.
I never have expectations, so made it easy.
I have expectations all the time. But I try to go in with as much of an open mind as I can, I will say. Yeah. No. It was good. I just liked it. I just
Yeah,
liked it.
no, it's good. It's well done.
And I wanted it to feel different from Futurama and The Simpsons, and it
Yes.
felt different enough.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not a clone of either of those shows at all, but it still has a lot of Matt Groening sensibilities about humor.
No, and that was
I think are inherently good. I think he has a good instincts for what's funny.
yeah. And I don't know. I guess I don't even really want to say worry, but there was part of me that was like, this could just be actual Pastorama. Like, there's a
Yeah,
chance that I turn this on and it's just the same exact formula as Futurama, but in medieval times.
and it's not funny. Like, that was totally a possibility. It just would be lots of jokes that weren't funny, and I'd be like, this is boring. This isn't, I don't care about this. But, I cared. I was invested. I did do the thing. Like, the most thing is, like, it's so awkward where I have to stop it and just, like, I need a breather. It's just, this situation is too much for me at this particular moment. All right. Then I'll come back to it.
Which was that?
It happened a couple times. I can't even remember. Usually about, I think Elfo, when Elfo was like making up his, I think it was in the episode where Elfo was making up his girlfriend. Mostly when he was like trying harder to hit on Bean, I think. I couldn't deal. Just like,
Okay.
oh my God.
See, I don't know. I guess like I thought I thought it was funny because of how absurd it was. Like, she has one eye. She's big.
Well, yeah, it's not not that part of it. Kind of before that, when he tries to kiss her, like leading up to that moment. I think not even that moment specifically. I think there was something before then.
I mean, I think we've established Elfo as that kind of character. Look what him and Kissy did in the first episode. Basically, we're gonna bang right in front of all the other elves.
No, I mean that part I was fine with. It's when he's like acting awkward and pathetic that's just a little too awkward for me. Awkwardness in shows. There are plenty of shows I've really liked that this happens with. This is not unique. Like, this happens to me with Curb.
Oh,
a lot
dude.
too, for sure. I'm just like, oh my, I can't right now.
I literally just skipped a section of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt today. Like, there was like I knew it was going to be like 15 to 30 seconds that I could not handle. And it was intentional too. Like, the show 100% was doing it intentionally. Like, you were supposed to cringe so hard that you break your neck. And like, this dude was rapping in the front of a classroom, and it's supposed to be cringy. And the main character, Kimmy, is like, oh my God, he's going to be so embarrassed. I need to do something cringier to take the focus off him. And it worked, and I skipped the entire segment. Like, I couldn't do it. It was terrible.
Yeah. Like,
Most of The Office.
Yeah. The Office is another one that, like, it's certainly all the time is trying to cringe you out. What I liked about the show in general was that it wasn't doing that, basically, except for Elfo.
Yeah, it just had a few instances.
It just had a few moments, and like it never does the thing of it can totally played out thing of just taking a joke and playing it forever. The thing that totally ruined Family Guy.
Like the that dead frog bit.
I mean, plenty. I don't even.
The dead frog is like the. I don't know. He's like trying to. Okay, so like the hurt knee bit.
Yeah, the hurt knee bit is a classic example of what I'm talking about.
Yep, dead frog, same thing.
I think the worst to me was like Stewie and the dog locked in a vault for like the whole episode. It was just the entire time was cringeworthy, and was like Stewie was like, "Nope, you have to lick the shit out of my butt, or I'll get sick." It's just like this is just awful. It was like active. It was definitely Futurama. It was definitely Family Guy in the. We're going to actively try and make the audience hate this show stage of its life.
Great.
It's like, yeah, I hate this. Congratulations. Yeah.
So yeah. Disenchantment.
Disenchantment. I was very pleasantly. I wouldn't even say surprised. It was very pleasant. I was very happy watching it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Same. No, those 10 episodes are super easy to burn through.
Yeah. Like, again, I don't know how I would rank it on the scale of greatness or anything.
Yeah.
I've got to see where it goes. I've got to let it
Oh
sit.
no,
But
I
it's for
think
certain incredibly watchable and just super entertaining. I was thoroughly entertained.
yeah,
It
and then
was definitely a success.
I agree. Like it's way too early to bother like trying to rank it on stuff with only 10 episodes, but
Yeah.
it's a solid start. So looking forward to
Yeah.
that second part.
I would
And
watch more if there were more to watch.
yeah, big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. It just needs a music. It needs a musical episode for me though.
It does. It does.
All right, but I think that's a podcast episode. You can email us at saltcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Find us on soundcloud.com/saltcircle, on Twitter @saltcirclepod, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Google Podcasts, rather, Salt Circle Podcast. Find me on Twitter @comicpanels.
And I'm on Twitter @bean_LP. I really got nothing. Like I was gonna like I debated something from the show, but like it's just all good. I want to pick.
I liked when that dude was surprised and then fell over a wall and was like, I deserve this.
Yeah. Yep, that was a good one.
It's a good bit.
That's a good
lot,
bit.
A lot of good bits.